Many people carry things inside their hearts for many years. It may be a memory, a promise, or a dream that has not yet come true. Sometimes we even hold on to words that someone once spoke to us, whether kind or unkind. These things can become heavy, like stones in a bag that we carry on our backs. At first, the weight may not seem too strong, but over time, it grows, and we may feel tired, without even knowing why. Holding on can give us a sense of safety. We believe that if we keep something close, it will protect us or keep us connected to a person or a past moment. In truth, holding on is not always wrong. It can give us strength and direction, especially when it is about love, loyalty, or faith. But when the weight becomes too much, it can prevent us from walking freely on the path of life. It is important to notice when holding on begins to hurt more than it helps. This awareness is gentle, not a judgment. We do not need to push ourselves to decide quickly. Instead, we can pause, breathe, and ask, is this giving me life, or is it taking life away from me? By seeing the weight we carry, we take the first step toward freedom. Sometimes the simple act of noticing is enough to bring lightness. It reminds us that we always have a choice about what we hold and what we release. Letting go is not always about losing something. It is often about making space. When we open our hands, we may fear that we will be left empty. But in truth, an open hand can receive more than a closed one. Letting go gives us room to breathe, to rest, and to welcome what is new. Many people think that letting go means forgetting or abandoning. This is not the case. We do not erase the love we have felt or the lessons we have learned. These remain as part of us, shaping our hearts in quiet ways. Letting go simply means we no longer cling so tightly that we hurt ourselves. It means trusting that life continues to flow even when we do not control it. Imagine a bird that rests on your hand. If you hold it too tightly, it suffers, and so do you. But if you let it fly, the bird is free, and you are free as well. You may still feel its presence in the sky, in the song it leaves behind, and in the joy of knowing you shared a moment together. Letting go allows us to walk lighter. It makes it possible to see new paths, to welcome new relationships, and to discover peace in unexpected places. Often, the relief we feel after letting go shows us that we were carrying more weight than we realized. When we allow space, life has a way of bringing us what we truly need. The freedom of letting go is not about emptiness. It is about opening to the endless possibility of the present moment. Life often asks us to give effort. We work to care for our families, to build our homes, and to support those we love. Effort can be noble. It shows our dedication and our willingness to walk the path with energy. But if we only know effort and never know release, we may begin to feel trapped in our own striving. Balance means understanding when to hold firmly and when to loosen our grip. Think of a gardener. The gardener works hard to plant seeds, water them, and protect them from harm. But at some point, the gardener must trust the soil, the rain, and the sun. No amount of effort can force the seed to grow faster. In the same way, our lives require both action and trust. When we do not let go, effort turns into struggle. We may push ourselves beyond what is healthy, believing that we alone must control the outcome. Release, on the other hand, allows effort to bear fruit in its own time. It gives us space to rest, to watch, and to appreciate what is already unfolding. Finding this balance is not easy. It is learned slowly, often through mistakes and small insights. We may try too hard and then discover that rest was needed, or we may release too soon and realize more effort was required. These experiences are not failures. They are teachers, showing us how to live with more harmony. True strength is not only in effort. True wisdom is not only in letting go. It is in knowing how to move between the two, like the rhythm of breathing in and breathing out. In this rhythm, we discover peace, even in the middle of life's demands. There are times when holding on is not a burden, but a blessing. Love often calls us to remain steady, even when the path feels uncertain. When we care deeply for someone, our presence can be the hand they need to guide them through difficulty. In these moments, holding on is not about control. It is about standing with another person in kindness and loyalty. Love teaches us patience. We may watch someone we care for struggle, and our first thought is to let go of the situation because it feels too heavy. But true love invites us to stay, not in a way that harms us, but in a way that shows compassion. Holding on here is not about clinging. It is about choosing to walk beside someone, offering our support and our understanding. There are also times when we must hold on to our promises. A promise made in love is a bond that shapes trust. To keep such promises is to show that our words and our hearts are aligned. Even when it is difficult, this kind of holding on brings meaning to life. Love can also ask us to hold on to memories. The smile of a friend, the kindness of a parent, or the warmth of a shared moment. These are treasures that guide us long after the moment has passed. They do not weigh us down. Instead, they lift us, reminding us that connection is eternal. Holding on in love is different from clinging in fear. One closes the hand tightly, the other opens it gently. When love asks us to hold on, it is an invitation to live with courage, tenderness, and devotion. Pain is a teacher that few of us wish to meet, yet it comes into every life. Sometimes it arrives through loss, disappointment, or betrayal. Other times, it is the quiet ache of dreams that did not come true. While pain is never easy, it has the power to show us when it is time to release what no longer serves our hearts. Many people try to hold on to pain, almost as if it proves the depth of their love or the seriousness of their struggle. But carrying pain for too long can become a kind of prison. It locks us in the past and prevents us from seeing the beauty that is still here. Letting go of pain does not mean that the past was unimportant. It means we choose not to let the past control our present. Letting go often begins with a simple recognition. This hurts, and it does not help me to keep holding it. From that moment, the weight may slowly lift. It does not always happen quickly. Sometimes letting go is a process, like a wound healing day by day. Even so, every small step away from pain brings more light into our lives. Pain also reminds us that we are human. It humbles us, teaching us to be gentle with ourselves and with others. When we release pain, we do not erase it. We honor it as a teacher and then allow it to pass, leaving us stronger, softer, and more open to the present. In this way, pain becomes not only a source of suffering, but also a guide toward freedom. It shows us that holding on is not always strength, and letting go can be the truest act of courage. Life unfolds in its own rhythm. We may wish to know exactly when to hold on and when to let go, but the truth is that time often teaches us this lesson better than any plan we can make. With time, feelings shift, clarity grows, and what once felt impossible becomes possible. When we are in the middle of strong emotions, it can be hard to see clearly. Anger, fear, or longing may cloud our judgment. In such moments, we might act too quickly, or cling too tightly. Time gives us space to breathe and to watch our feelings rise and fall. What feels urgent today may feel lighter tomorrow. What seems unbearable now may soften in a week, a month, or a year. Time is not only about waiting. It is also about allowing life to reveal itself. Just as a flower opens slowly, step by step, so too do our hearts. If we try to force the process, we risk breaking what is still tender. But if we trust time, we discover a natural rhythm that guides us. There are moments when time itself brings release. A memory that once caused pain may lose its sharpness. A burden that once felt heavy may seem smaller as the years pass. In this way, time can be a healer, gently showing us when it is safe to let go. At other times, time shows us what is worth holding. A friendship that lasts through many seasons proves its strength. A value that remains steady through changing years becomes a foundation for life. By respecting time, we learn patience. We begin to see that both holding on and letting go are not sudden choices, but parts of a larger journey that unfolds at the right moment. In life, there are things we are meant to hold firmly. These are not the fears that limit us, but the values that guide us. Values such as honesty, kindness, respect and responsibility shape the way we live. They give us direction even when circumstances around us are uncertain. Holding on to values is like holding on to the roots of a great tree. The winds of change may blow, but the roots keep us steady. Fear, on the other hand, often asks us to hold on in unhealthy ways. Fear whispers that if we release control, we will be lost. It tells us to cling to old habits, even when they no longer serve us. If we let fear guide our choices, we may stay in places that are too small for us, or carry burdens that only weigh us down. The challenge is to tell the difference between values and fears. Values bring peace, even when the path is hard. Fear brings tension, even when we appear safe. A simple way to ask ourselves is, am I holding this because it reflects who I truly am, or am I holding it because I am afraid of change? When we hold to values, we grow in strength and dignity. When we hold to fear, we shrink and close ourselves off from life's possibilities. Letting go of fear does not mean we will never feel afraid. It means fear does not make our decisions for us. In the end, the things worth holding are those that keep our hearts open and our steps true. Values will support us through every season, while fear will only keep us from walking forward. Each of us carries stories about who we are. Some of these stories come from childhood, from the words of parents, teachers, or friends. Others come from our own experiences, especially moments of success or failure. These stories can shape the way we see ourselves, but not all of them remain true as life changes. Sometimes we hold on to stories that no longer serve us. We may believe, I am not strong enough, or I always fail, or I must always please others. These ideas may have begun in real experiences, but over time they can become cages. They limit our vision and prevent us from discovering new possibilities. Letting go of old stories does not mean rejecting our past. The past is part of us and deserves respect. But it does mean releasing the belief that the past defines our entire future. A single chapter does not decide the whole book. We are always growing, always becoming. When we notice an old story rising in our minds, we can gently ask, is this still true for me? Does this help me live with peace and courage today? If the answer is no, then we can thank the story for what it once gave us and allow it to rest. By letting go of limiting stories, we make space for new ones to emerge. Stories of strength, kindness, resilience, and hope can take their place. Our lives are not fixed. They are living rivers, moving and changing. We do not need to hold on to what no longer reflects our true nature. Letting go of old stories is an act of freedom. It allows us to meet ourselves again with openness, ready to live more fully in the present. It takes courage to hold on, and it also takes courage to let go. Many people believe that holding on is a sign of strength and letting go is a sign of weakness. In truth, both require a brave heart. To hold on with courage means to stand firm when life challenges us. It means not giving up on what truly matters, even when the road is difficult. A parent caring for a child, a friend supporting another through illness, or a person keeping faith in hard times. All of these are acts of courage. They are not easy, but they show a deep commitment to love and truth. To let go with courage means facing the unknown. It asks us to release what is familiar and step into uncertainty. Many people fear this step because they cannot see what will come next. Yet letting go is often the doorway to new growth, new relationships, and new peace. It is not running away. It is walking forward with trust, even when the path is not clear. Courage in both paths is not about being without fear. It is about moving, even when fear is present. A brave person is not someone who never trembles, but someone who takes the next step while trembling. We must remember that life will call us to both holding on and letting go. At different times, each is necessary. Courage helps us recognize which is right for the moment. It gives us the strength to honor love when holding is needed, and the trust to release when letting go is wise. In the end, courage is the quiet fire that lights both paths, guiding us through change with dignity and hope. Nature is one of our greatest teachers. If we look closely, we see that all of life moves through cycles of holding on and letting go. Trees, rivers, mountains, and seasons each carry wisdom about change. Think of a tree in autumn. The leaves turn red, yellow, and gold before they fall to the ground. The tree does not resist this process. It lets go, trusting that new leaves will return in spring. In the same way, our lives have seasons. There are times to hold and times to release. By watching nature, we learn that letting go is not the end, but part of renewal. Consider the river. It moves forward without clinging to the rocks it passes. If it tried to hold on, the flow would stop. Instead, the river teaches us to keep moving, carrying memories like water carries reflections, yet always making space for what lies ahead. Even the mountains, which seem unchanging, slowly transform over thousands of years. They remind us that some forms of holding are steady, yet even the strongest things are shaped by time. Change is not an enemy, but a natural part of existence. When we feel fear about change, it can help to look at nature and remember that nothing stays the same, yet life continues with beauty. Flowers bloom and fade, yet the cycle brings new blossoms. Day turns into night, and night turns into day again. Nature shows us that both holding on and letting go are necessary for balance. If the seasons never shifted, life would not grow. By seeing ourselves as part of these rhythms, we can meet change with less resistance and more trust in the flow of life. Acceptance is not about giving up. It is about seeing life as it truly is, without trying to force it into our own design. When we practice acceptance, we stop fighting against what has already happened. Instead, we open our hearts to the reality before us. This gentle art does not remove all pain, but it softens the struggle that comes from resistance. Many of us spend energy wishing that things were different. We replay conversations, regret choices, or imagine a past that could have been better. While it is natural to reflect, holding on too tightly to what should have been can keep us trapped. Acceptance allows us to say, "This is where I am now, and from here I will take my next step." Acceptance does not mean we approve of every event. It does not mean injustice, loss, or hardship are good. It means we recognize them as real instead of denying them. From this place of honesty, we can respond with clarity rather than anger or despair. There is also acceptance of ourselves. Many people carry old judgments, believing they must always be perfect or strong. True acceptance allows us to see both our light and our shadows, knowing that both are part of being human. When we accept ourselves, we stop hiding, and we find freedom to live more openly. The art of acceptance is gentle, because it does not push. It does not demand sudden change. It arrives quietly, like a calm breath, reminding us that peace begins with allowing things to be as they are. From there, holding on becomes lighter, and letting go becomes possible. There are times when the heart grows quiet, like a lake with no wind. In these moments, the noise of the world fades, and we can see more clearly what we are holding on to and what we are ready to release. Stillness does not mean that life has no challenges. It means that for a while we are not pulled by the constant waves of desire and fear. When the heart is still, we can notice small truths that are often hidden in the rush of daily living. We may realize that some burdens we carry are no longer necessary. We may also see that some connections are worth keeping, even when they require effort. In this silence, decisions are not forced. They rise naturally, like ripples spreading gently across the water. Stillness is also a place of rest. Our minds often run forward to the future or back into the past, but the heart's stillness invites us into the present. In this presence, we may discover a sense of peace that does not depend on outside conditions. It is a peace that comes from simply being, not from achieving or controlling. When we touch this inner calm, holding on and letting go no longer feel like opposites. They become part of the same flow. What needs to remain stays, and what needs to leave passes. The heart does not struggle. It trusts. These moments of stillness may not last long, but they remind us that such peace is always possible. Even in the busiest or most painful seasons, the heart can return to quiet. In that quiet, we find the strength to choose wisely and to walk our path with gentleness. Life is not decided in one great choice, but in many small steps. Each step we take reflects what we hold on to and what we let go. Wisdom is not about never making mistakes. It is about walking with awareness, learning as we go, and choosing again with greater clarity. Some steps ask us to hold on. These are the times when loyalty, love, or responsibility guide us to stay steady. They may be difficult, but they give strength to our character. Other steps ask us to release. These are the moments when we free ourselves from old burdens or harmful attachments. Both kinds of steps are part of the same journey. Wisdom comes from pausing before we move. A pause is not weakness. It is the space in which we listen to our hearts. In that quiet space, we can ask, does this choice bring life, or does it take life away? The answer is often simple, though not always easy to follow. We cannot always see far ahead, but we do not need to. The path is revealed as we walk it. Choosing each step with care is enough. Over time, the steps create a direction, and the direction shapes a life. It is natural to look back and wonder about past choices. Yet wisdom also teaches us not to be trapped by regret. Each step, even the painful ones, has brought us to this moment. What matters now is the step we take next. The wisdom of choosing each step lies in trust. Trust that holding on has its place, and letting go has its time. Trust that the path, however winding, will lead us closer to peace if we walk it with sincerity. As we come to the end of this reflection, I wish to return to the simple truth that life is a dance between holding on and letting go. Neither path is always right or always wrong. Each moment asks for its own wisdom, its own response. Sometimes we must stand firm, carrying love, values, and promises with strength. At other times, we must release, trusting that new life will grow where space has been made. In walking this path, we learn that balance does not come from perfection. It comes from honesty and gentleness. When we listen carefully to our own hearts, we begin to sense which step is needed. Holding on and letting go are not enemies, they are companions, guiding us toward freedom and peace. This journey is not one we take only once. It continues each day, in the choices we make, in the words we speak, and in the way we treat ourselves and others. Each step, however small, shapes the story of our lives. Before we close, I would like to express my deep gratitude to you. Thank you for taking the time to listen and to walk together through these reflections. I also wish to sincerely thank those who have supported this channel in many ways, through likes, through subscribing, through sharing kind comments, through super thanks, and through becoming members. Your presence and your support make it possible to continue offering these teachings with care. May the path ahead bring you peace, courage, and clarity. May you know when to hold on with love and when to let go with trust. And may your steps, one by one, carry you toward a life of balance and quiet joy.